Welcome on in to the Aviator Sports and Events Center at Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, New York. And we've got a good exhibition game for you today, right here on Midnight Sports. It's the New York City Raiders visiting the Aviator Hockey Club on this Sunday afternoon in February. The temperatures have finally warmed up outside, but the hockey is likely to be even hotter, with the AA Aviators looking to sweep the season series from the Raiders. That's the buzzer for the warm-up period, and the Aviator Hockey Club comes into this game having lost most recently to the Mid-Hudson Polar Bears AA team in a close one by a score of 1-2. They dropped both games in that home-and-home series, with the first game taking place in December. But Midnight Sports viewers will remember that in December, the Aviators came to City Ice Pavilion to take on the Raiders, and the Aviators emerged with a 4-2 victory. That game was a back-and-forth affair, but ultimately the Aviator Hockey Club did enough to protect their lead and see the game out. Now the Raiders will want to flip the ticket to the Aviators here in Brooklyn. The Raiders come into this game on the heels of their 2-5 loss to the Bedford Bears in the New York State play-in tournament. Prior to that game, the Raiders beat the Prestige Hockey Club 5-3 in the opening round of the tournament. Most of these Raiders have been itching to get back on the ice in a game situation, to get back in the win column. So look for a renewed sense of purpose today here from the Raiders in what should be a close, tough matchup against their Brooklyn rivals. It's the Raiders and the Aviators coming up right now on Midnight Sports. Puck drop for period one in just a second or two as these players line up at their benches to get some last-minute strategy from their coaches. It looks like it'll be Jason Bricker to start today's game in net for the Raiders. Raiders Road Navy Blues going up against the Aviators in their home whites. Those listening on the radio, the Raiders will be going right to left on your dial to open the first period. Players break. It's going to be Marchuka, Meyerowicz, Steinfink, Petrosinelli, and Gossler out there as the 5 Raiders skaters to open things up here at Floyd Bennett Field. The Aviators get set. Both goalies being checked now by the linesman at center ice. Scorekeeper checked as well. Marchuka leans over the center ice dot. Bit of a glare there from the sun as it pokes through the windows, but it should continue setting down over the horizon shortly. Aviators win the opening faceoff. They take it behind their own cage. They're harassed by Meyerowicz, and the puck sits at the inboards until Petrosinelli takes over. He feathers a shot pass up to the near point. Backhander comes in from Marchuka, saved nicely there by the Aviator goaltender, and we play on. Puck sits in the near corner now. Aviators take over at the end boards, try and rack that around all the way to the far half wall. They do. Get it on the forehand, not out of the zone just yet. Finally chipped farther by the men in white, and they turn it over to Silas Gossler in the defensive zone. Gossler on the forehand, chips it up into the neutral zone. Aviators try and stop it there. Instead, slips past everyone all the way down. No icing as it hit an Aviator on its way through, and Aviator will have to break out again. It's now Koslewski with the puck in his own end, chips it up the boards and out of the zone. Aviator breaks back in too soon, so just 50 seconds into this one, our first offside call. The Aviators will have a face-off just outside the Raiders' defensive zone. It'll be Berliner, Bizarro, Finkelstein, Koslewski, and Tanoff out as the 5 skaters. Berliner over the dot now, looking to win this one after the referee checks the door here just in front of the camera well and make sure it's fully locked and shut so nobody gets hurt. Drops the puck. Berliner wins that forward. Aviator takes over, but now Bizarro in all alone. It's Bizarro on the forehand. Tries to go around the goaltender. He does. That's a Raiders goal. Just like that. 58 seconds into the first period here. Dom Bizarro pots one on a breakaway, and it's Raiders 1, Aviators nothing. Well, we'll immediately get a drop following that. Same 5 skaters will stay out there for the Raiders. Now with a 1-goal lead. It's Finkelstein on the puck. Tries to work it farther in the neutral zone. Turned around by the Aviators, and then the Raiders will dump in. Icing wave tears. It must have hit a body on the way through. Bizarro, man on fire out there right now in the near corner, harassing the Aviators, trying to get them off the puck. They'll go behind their net with a pass. Berliner can't quite cut out that zone breakout pass, and the Aviators will come through the neutral zone, but no farther after Berliner stops the play there. It's Finkelstein now, dumps the puck in. Raiders will go for a line change as Bizarro stays out on the forecheck. It's Bizarro harassing his man still. We'll need to make a change here soon. Samosi on the ice for the first time with Vigliotti now. Aiden and Fauci out there as well. Matthew Fauci turns, jams that puck up to Lorenzo Vigliotti, works it farther for Bizarro. Pizarro now on the puck, trying to work that farther. Comes to an Aviator stick, not out of the zone just yet as it rests under an Aviator man here at the near point. Still there, Pizarro again tries to work it farther, stays in the zone. Shot goes well wide of the cage, and now Fauciel turn in the far corner. Gets the puck on his forehand, just rolls off. So Samosi takes over at the far circle now. Goes behind his own net, chips it up off the boards and out of the zone. Aviators will take over in their own zone. It's Kalemba now on the ice for the first time as well this afternoon. Aviators come right back the other way. They're in the offensive zone on the forehand. Shot comes in, stick to side by Bricker. Aviators take over again. They throw something in the slot, jammed out of there by Aiden, and Fauciel take over in the far corner. Curls behind his net, surveys his options, now comes up the left wing. Puck comes off his stick, though, and Aviator will keep the zone. It's still Aviator in the slot. They dangle around one man, but not the second, as the puck rolls all the way to the weak side, and then it's shot in from the far point. Blocker to side by Bricker. Bigliotti will pick it up there. Feathers that up to Samosi, who picks up the puck, skates out of his own zone. He's got Kalemba up the left wing. He'll dump in so the Raiders can make a change behind the play. It's Samosi now all over his man with Kalemba. Aviators try and work that out of the zone. It sits at the near half wall. Gossler pinches in to keep the zone. Aviators take over, and they jam it behind their own net. Samosi and Steinfink out there to try and stop this play before it gets into the neutral zone. Marchuka dumps it right back in, just a little bit too soon, though, as Kalemba was still leaving the zone. So with 11:57 left to go here in the first, it's an offside on the Raiders, who have a one-goal lead early on in this one. Well, folks, don't forget to check out Cheesebox on Instagram, CHC Box. Some fantastic hockey pictures as well as pictures from other sports. Aviators try and break into the offensive zone. They do. That slot pass connects with no one, though, and Petrosinelli just wills the puck out of the defensive zone. And the Aviators will dump right back in. Gossler now turns to pick it up at the end boards. He's behind Bricker with the puck. Tries to settle a bouncing puck down. Jams it up to the near half wall. The Aviators come away with it, but only so far as Marchuka, who picks up the puck, skates out of his zone. He's in the neutral zone now. He's got a streaking Meyerowicz coming down center ice, but Marchuka's rubbed off the puck there as two Aviator men were all over him. Petrosinelli finishes a check now behind the net. The Aviators will break out the other way. Aviators into the neutral zone, only so far as Steinfink. Puck now rolls, comes all the way over to the near side, and Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz tries to jam it farther, takes a heavy hit to dump that puck in, but he does, and now Marchuka's on his man at the end boards. Wipes his man out of the play. Two Aviators there for support, though, and they'll break out of the zone with a nifty diagonal pass. Tanoff and Koslevsky back now on a 2-on-2. Aviators try and break into the zone. Good back checking there by the Raiders, though. Prevents that break-in until it does finally get dumped in, but Tanoff shepherds that puck all the way around his net. He's on the forehand. Back checked nicely by the Aviators. They keep the zone. Koslevsky now fires up and works that puck into the far circle, and then nearly out of the zone. He waits for support. Big hit by Petrosinelli. He's going to draw a call there, as Koslevsky was working that puck out of the zone, and then a little after action now, right in front of the Raiders bench. Referee looking to separate all the players. Some words were exchanged, and then some gloves. 10:56 left to go here in the first. Let's see what kind of justice gets meted out now after the players come together just in front of the Raiders bench. Before all that, looked like it was going to be a 2-minute roughing call on Petrosinelli going to the box. After his stick gets scuffed up a bit, he's going to be sent over toward the box here, guided gently by the linesman. And it looks like the Raiders are going to go down a man here. Up a goal, down a man as Aviator waits. Now an Aviator player will go to the box too. We'll see if we're going to have some 5-on-5 hockey, 4-on-5 hockey, or some other assortment of numbers as the referee and linesman talk to each other. Still some lengthy discussions going on here just in front of the camera well. Looks like there are 4 Raiders on the ice right now and 5 Aviators, but of course no signal yet to the scorer's booth as they sort out the sins. Conversation between the officials over, still no signal yet. Now 5 skaters aside on the ice as we await the verdict. Nothing yet put up on the board. Raiders have Koslevsky, Tanoff, Pizarro, Finkelstein, and Berliner out there as their 5 skaters. Puck just rests at the far dot here in the defensive zone of the Raiders as they await a faceoff. Linesman with a discussion now as to who's been sent off and for what and why, as he explains it to Coach Gosler at the bench. Well, another Raiders player will go over to the box here, which indicates perhaps a 2 and 10 assessed for the after action. So perhaps, well, we'll see. We don't need to speculate here. The Petrosinelli roughing penalty has been put up on the board for 2 minutes. Raiders now have 4 skaters on the ice, so it looks like they will go down a man here for 2 minutes while they're up a goal early here in the first. So it's all settled. It's the usual power play right now for Aviator, who wins the faceoff forward but can't control it long enough to get a shot on. The penalty killers are Berliner, Bizarro, Schlefsky, and Tanoff. Bizarro is able to chip that puck out of the zone, gives chase in the neutral zone. Bouncing puck evades Berliner's stick, and now Aviator has a 2-on-2 developing the other way. They try and dangle around Tanoff. Schlefsky there just to guide the puck softly over to the far half wall and cut out the threat. It's the Aviator still on the puck at the far point. They work that puck in deeper, trying to set up the power play. Shot comes in, hits a body. It's Tanoff who's able to get that on the forehand and bounce that all the way out of the zone. And now Aviator pressured by Berliner and Bizarro all the way back into their zone to kill some of this penalty. 1:21 left to go on the man advantage for Aviator as they wait behind their net to set up the play. Aviators swirling now, trying to get the puck out of their zone. They do. They skate it out all the way through the defensive zone into the neutral zone. Looks like a 200-foot play here as they break into the high slot, but an offside's called before that shot is snapped onto Bricker. So 10:03 left to go here in the first period. Still a minute and 8 seconds left to go on the man advantage for Aviator, and we'll have a face-off just outside the Raiders' blue line. Well, a little choppy here to start the first period after the Raiders' goal early on. A lot of stoppages in play as we try and get settled and into a rhythm. It'll be Finkelstein, Vigliotti, Aiden, and Gosler out there as the 4 Raider skaters, and they look to kill off the rest of this penalty. Aviator breaks into the offensive zone. Can't quite corral the puck at first. Now they do on the forehand. They're pushed wide by Gosler at the near half wall and then feathered up to the blue line. And not out just yet as Aviator dumps in. They take over in the mid slot. Puck rolls all the way to the near point. And Vigliotti harasses his man in the neutral zone and sends that puck farther. Aviator will have to recoil at their own blue line. Now with speed, they break into the offensive zone. Does Aviator drop pass there to the far point. On the forehand, Aviator comes all the way down into the zone. Works that puck up to the far half wall, now the far point, right back to the far half wall. Curl into the slot, pass comes in. Gosler does just enough to lift the stick of his man, and Vigliotti will emerge with the puck out of his zone. 23 seconds left to go on the man advantage for Aviator as Vigliotti dumps that puck in, and the Raiders can get a partial change out of this. Aviator now comes back the other way. The 5-man formation. They break across the blue line. Can't dangle past Gosler. They take over in the high slot and then try and dump it into some empty ice. Samosi gets in the way at first. Puck sits at the far half wall. Aviator has it now in the far corner. It's Aviator now on the puck, trying to curl around. We're back to 5-on-5 skating now as the puck sits in the mid slot, but it's guided farther again by Vigliotti. He's got Samosi with him, streaking up the middle of the ice. Vigliotti takes the puck, tries to pull the trigger there at the near point, sends a shot wide of the cage, rolls all the way over to Kalemba, sends it into the slot, looking for Samosi. Instead it comes to Vigliotti, shoots, just misses, hits the side of the cage on that, and Aviator will take over in their own zone as the Raiders await. Kalemba now on the forecheck, works that puck in deeper to the end boards. Aviator has the puck again. Samosi harasses his man there, and then it's feathered right over to the weak side by Aviator in the near corner. Aviator on the puck with some time and space. They'll send that to the weak side again and come through the center of the ice as they'll make a bit of a change. Kalemba gets in the way of his man, trying to work that over towards Samosi. Puck sits right in front of the scorer. No arm raised for that hit there as Vigliotti takes over now. Vigliotti on the puck. He's at center ice, goes all the way in the offensive zone. Does Vigliotti works, get on the forehand, misses just a bit high and wide as Steinfink tries to keep the zone. He chips it in once, then twice. He's able to keep the zone there, and Aviator will take over in the far corner. They send it all the way around on a reverse to the near corner. They look to pick up the puck again. Does Aviator to break out of their zone. Looking for that home run diagonal pass. That puck's going to go all the way to the end line. No icing called here as the players pour into the far corner. And both players slow to get up there. Well, a little shocking that no icing was going to be called on that play, as Aviator did not connect in the neutral zone. And Steinfink has stayed down after trying to get to the puck first in the near corner. Excuse me, the far corner, that is. And we'll see what the call is going to be here after the arm was raised and the players went into the boards. Well, Steinfink looks to be back on his feet here as he goes toward the bench after taking that heavy hit in the far corner. He goes all the way to the bench now. He's getting checked out there. And so we wait to see what the call is as the officials explain it to the Aviator bench. It's 2 minutes on the board for Aviator and the penalty. So the Raiders should be up a man here. Of course, Raiders more concerned with how Steinfink's feeling there on the bench, as they should be. Coach Marchuka awaits an explanation from the linesman here. Still talking to the Aviator bench right now. Well, 4 Aviator skaters out in the defensive zone at the far point. Excuse me, the far dot, I should say. Just circling there, waiting for the Raiders to get their explanation to see who is going to be out there on the ice for them. It'll be Bizarro, Meyerowicz, Marchuka, Finkelstein, and Berliner. It looks like no, Meyerowicz off to the bench. It's Gossler in his place. So it'll be 4 forwards for the Raiders here. Gossler, the lone defender, as Berliner leans over the far dot. Players get set, they're ready. Puck's dropped, and it comes to Bizarro. Works it over to Gossler. Look out, shot comes in. Oh, bounces around there off the blocker of the goaltender. Now it's out in front. Skied shot there, goes just over the cage, and Berliner looks to work it up to Gossler. Instead, Aviator works it up to the near point, and Gossler dumps it right back in. Finkelstein now fires on his man. Frees the puck up for Berliner. Berliner shepherds the puck, trying to get over to his forehand there as it gets caught in a skate, but he does emerge with it, works it again up to Gossler. Gossler, no shooting lane, has to dump it right back down to Berliner, who's taken out of the play. Aviator chips it up at Gossler again. Gossler fires, looking for a deflection, goes just wide of the cage. Marchuka now pinches in, try and keep the zone. Aviator comes the other way. Gossler looking to get to this puck first. It's a 2-on-1 developing for Aviator, and they send one in. Bricker's able to make the save there. And so with 6:48 left to go here in the puck first, it's a 2-on-1 developing for Aviator, and they send one in. Bricker's able to make the save first. It's a 2-on-1 developing for Aviator, and they send one in. Bricker's able to make the power play for the Raiders. Same 5 skaters will stay out there for the men in navy blue. Berliner wins that on the backhand, comes over to the slot, and Gossler, who just sends it over to Marchuka, and now Gossler picks it up again in the near corner. It's Gossler working that puck up into the neutral zone. Puck sits at the red line, and Aviator pours right back into the offensive zone, at least momentarily. They take it there in the slot, trying to spin. Finkelstein takes his man out of the play. Shot comes in. Oh, a one-timer just misses at the back post, and Bizarro will take the puck over in the neutral zone. It's Bizarro now into the offensive zone, waiting for teammates for support. Bizarro sends one in. Rolling puck sits there. Oh, the Raiders tried to slap that in. Aviator able to cover up in the blue paint with 6:15 left to go in the first. Teammates for support. Bizarro sends one in. Rolling puck sits there. Oh, the Raiders tried to slap in the blue paint. The net was ready to receive it. So it'll be an offensive zone draw here for the Raiders. It's Berliner, Finkelstein, Bizarro, Kushlewski, and Tanoff out there as the 5 skaters. Berliner wins that. Shot comes in. Kushlewski hits a man in front. Aviator looks to break the other way. They clear the zone, but no farther than Tanoff, who backhands it over to Finkelstein, who's got a 3-on-1 if he hurries. Aviator's trying to get back quickly. Finkelstein shoots, just misses the cage wide. And Bizarro works that puck up to Tanoff, who returns the pass over to Bizarro. Bizarro curling on in, trying to go over, can't quite lift the puck enough over the glove of the Aviator netminder, and Berliner will keep the puck there. Tanoff chips it farther and tries to pour in after it. Now it'll be Finkelstein on the Aviator man looking to break out. Aviator does break out of the zone. They come the other way through the neutral zone. Just 7 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Koszlewski does a wonderful job taking the puck off his man, and the Raiders will live to fight another day on that chance. Good poke check by Koszlewski. Sees Vigliotti break the other way into the offensive zone and then take his man out of the play in the neutral zone. Aviator chips it farther, though, and it's a one-on-one developing as Tanoff guides his man to the outside. 5:19 left to go here in the first period. The pace is certainly picked up as Vigliotti takes over the puck, works it up towards Simosi with a little ice in front of him, taken out of the play, able to get the puck back, though, and it comes to the offensive blue line for the Raiders. Simosi picks it up there, tries to backhand it farther. Aviator in the way, and they'll take over at their own blue line, will Aviator. Backhanded pass doesn't connect. Aviator will have to reset in the defensive zone. Under 5 minutes left to play here in the first period as Aviator tries to work that puck up and out, and they eventually do into the neutral zone. They break into the offensive zone, does Aviator. They're in the slot with some room. Shot comes in. Hits Bricker in the chest. He just gloves it right there with 4:45 left to go here in the first period. Still Raiders 1, Aviator 0. Well, some end-to-end action here as the choppy play has receded. And the legs are churning. And the Raiders just getting the right personnel out there now as they have 5 skaters on the ice now. They do. Marchuka wins that over toward Finkelstein, who takes the puck out of his own zone, skates it all the way through the neutral zone. He's got Kalemba and Marchuka with him. Sends it into the slot. It's sticked deeper by Aviator, who will take over on the forehand and break out of their zone. So far as Aiden. Aiden at the red line. He'll curl, let his forwards escape the zone, and then work that diagonally up toward Marchuka, and then Finkelstein. Finkelstein sends it farther. Marchuka stays down after taking a hit at neutral ice, uncalled. He's back on his feet and skating. As the puck rolls in on the Aviator goaltender, sticks it aside, and then Aviator will wait to try and break out. Aviator makes it into the neutral zone, but without possession, and it's Aiden who'll go point to point over toward Fauci. Fauci now guides that puck up to Kalemba. Kalemba looks farther for Marchuka. Instead, it comes to an Aviator stick, and now Aviator with speed into the offensive zone. They're pushed wide there by Aiden, but they'll curl around, send something into the slot. Shot not coming, and the Raiders escape there all the way to the far corner. It's Fauci now on the puck. He's on the forehand, looking up, trying to work that puck up and out of the zone. It bounces into the slot, jammed farther by Aviator. Finkelstein takes a hit there to settle the puck, and now comes all the way down to Fauci, who has the puck on the forehand, works it up to Klembo, chips it farther up and out of the zone. Klembo all over his man, so they can't dump right back in, but they do, does Aviator, just a bit offside. So with 3:30 left to go here in the first period, it's an offside call on Aviator, and it'll be a face-off just outside the Raiders' defensive zone. Looks like they'll get Gosler, Koszlewski, Pizarro, Meyerowicz, and Berliner out there. And based on where that puck was sent into the zone from, it's going to be a face-off actually just outside the Raiders' offensive zone. Long pass didn't connect for Aviators. They were offside. And so we play on here as the Raiders try and break back into the offensive zone. Comes over to Meyerowicz, leaves it there for Berliner. Can't quite get to it before the Aviators do. And Aviator will look to break out of their zone again as they set up their play diagonally. Cut out by Pizarro. Pizarro now on the puck in the slot. Sends a shot wide of the cage. Meyerowicz looks to pick it up now at the far half wall. Puck sits momentarily. It's dumped just a bit farther by Berliner, but Aviator again looks to break out. Only so far as Koszlewski, who keeps the zone. Now Aviator on the puck in their own slot, trying to free up some ice in front so they can send something out of the zone. They'll dance behind their own net, does Aviator, but they're stopped there by Pizarro and Meyerowicz. Oh, Pizarro nearly had that in front, and it's gobbled up by the Aviator goaltender. So with 2:50, we'll get another stoppage in play here in the first period and an offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. It'll still be Koszlewski, Gosler, Pizarro, Meyerowicz, and Berliner out there as the 5 skaters for the New York City Raiders. Berliner over the far dot, looking to win this on the backhand. Aviator stops his stick. Pizarro able to fire it back toward Berliner, now taken over by Aviator. Sent weak side. Meyerowicz picks up the puck, tries to slap it farther on the backhand. And the puck sits in the near corner momentarily, and then it's fired weak side and out of the zone by Aviator. He'll chip it just a bit farther. Gosler will take over that rolling puck in his own end. In the near corner, curls behind his net, leaves it on a reverse, and Aviator tries to work that puck up to the near point. Comes there, but with too much speed, after Meyerowicz, was able to send it up. Bizarro breaks into the offensive zone, leaves it for Meyerowicz, gets handcuffed just a bit by the pass there, and Meyerowicz will work that up to the near half wall. Bizarro takes a heavy hit there, trying to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Instead, Aviator breaks out. They're in the neutral zone as Aviator now into the offensive zone. Drop pass there, breaking into the slot. Oh, the shot gets blocked by Tanoff, and it's guided farther now by Meyerowicz. Takes a hit there, works it over to Finkelstein. Puck in the neutral zone as Meyerowicz fires forward to try and come up the play. 1:50 left to go here in the first period. Aviator breaks in, blocker to side there by Bricker, and Colombo will take over and work that puck up to the far half wall. It's Finkelstein now working the puck out of the zone, but without possession. Aviator sets up, starting to tilt the ice a little bit as Aviator here with just 90 seconds left to play in the first period. It's Tanoff on the puck in the far corner. He works that puck up and out of the zone as Aviator completes their change. Puck comes all the way over in front of the scorer's table. Aviator dumps in again. Bricker out of his net to settle that puck for Fauci. Fauci on the backhand works it over toward Finkelstein, who guides it just a bit farther, looking for Kalemba. Puck comes to him, then it's kicked farther by Aviator, spins, and sends it into the near corner. Aviator swirling now. Fauci guides his man all the way to the end boards, turns, picks up the puck. Is able to get that out of the zone. A reaching Kalemba guides it just farther, now without possession. Aviator will take over in their own end. 1 minute even left to play here in the first period. Aviator behind their own net. They've got some time and space now to work that puck up out of the zone, but it's cut out there by Finkelstein. Puck comes over to Klembo, tries to send a shot in. Hits a stick, though, and unable to get the full power of the shot behind it. Aviator will break out of their own zone. Aviator across their blue line, across center ice. It's a 3-on-2 now developing. Tanoff and Fauci back. Shot comes in, goes well wide of the cage, and now it's Samosi looking to take his man out of the play. Puck comes over toward Finkelstein. He works that in deeper for Fauci. Fauci works it back the other way. Aviator in the way on that. 25 seconds left to go now in the first period. Tanoff all over his man as the puck's dumped deeper by Aviator. Finkelstein will turn. He's got a man on him. Puck comes to the side of the cage. Smartly worked deeper by Fauci, who then works it up towards Samosi, but just a bit too far. Aviator sends a shot in, hits a body in front. Kalemba to a streaking Samosi. Samosi now into the offensive zone. Tries to dangle his man, but the puck comes in after him. So with 4.3 seconds left to go here in the first, it's an offside on the Raiders, but they're able to escape that heavy pressure from Aviator here late in the first period. So it'll be Berliner, Samosi, Aiden, Gosler, and Vigliotti for the next 4.3 in the first period. Aviator wins the faceoff, and that should do it here for the first period. It does, as the clock was just a little bit slow. So after one, it's the New York City Raiders 1, Aviator Hockey Club 0. Stick around. We'll do period 2 coming up next. 15 minutes on the board right after these messages from our sponsors.
Hockey fans, Rowdy Howdy here. You may know me from Rowdy Howdy Automobiles. You've seen my ads. If you're in the market for a car, truck, or a SUV, you come on down to Rowdy Howdy right now. Rowdy Howdy, our cars maybe work. They say variety is the spice of life. Well, guess what? How about variety when you try and start your car? Sometimes it starts, sometimes it don't. Listen, you don't like it? Sue us. 123 Fake Ad Boulevard. Come on down. Biggest American flag you've ever seen, just off the interstate. Rowdy Howdy.
All right, period 2, as promised, 15 minutes on the board there. And the Raiders are getting just a little bit more advice from the bench before they pour over the side. It's going to be the period of the long change here in the middle frame. Important for both teams to get pucks deep. They want to change personnel out on the fly. Tanoff and Fauci out there as the defenders. Berliner, Samosi, and Meyerowicz as the forwards. Goalies checked. Scorekeeper checked. We're ready to roll here. Shot 7-5 in the Raiders' favor. as we open up this middle frame. Aviators win the faceoff, with some possession at least, as it sits in the neutral zone, but Meyerowicz takes over there. He crosses the blue line. Meyerowicz pours in, sent just a bit wide at the near circle, and the puck comes all the way to the end boards. Berliner now looking out front for Samosi. Pass gummed up as Aviator tries to break out the other way. They do. Long stick there. They've got a 3-on-2 if they hurry, does Aviator. It's turning into a 3-on-3 now as Aviator tries to go around Fauci, but he works his man far enough to the outside that the puck rolls to the end boards. Aviator takes over there again. Puck sits at the end boards. And Samosi will take over there. Samosi on the puck, all the way into the offensive zone. And the puck rolls off his stick, and Aviator will take over again at the end boards. They work it all the way up to the far half wall, gummed up by Meyerowicz. And the puck sits at the blue line momentarily, right in front of the Raiders bench, and must have hopped in as we get a stoppage in play with 14:01 left to go here in the second period. Well, some late report here from the Raiders bench. 2 skaters down with injury right now, both Pizarro and Steinfink. Questionable to return to this one. Some heavy hitting right in front of the scorer's table as Vigliotti now takes over. He's got Marchuka streaking in. It's a shot pass toward Marchuka. Aviator gets there just a little bit too fast for the Raiders' liking as Gossler slaps that farther in on net. 13:40 left to go here in the second period. Obviously, our well wishes to all injured skaters and players out there for a quick return from that injury. Aviator with some time behind their own net here as it's sticked farther by them, not out of the zone just yet. They'll skate this into the high slot and pass it right out of the zone. It's now Aviator streaking into the offensive zone, dangling around, trying to get a shot on goal. Backhander comes in, and it's shut down by Bricker with 13:15 left to go here in the second. Aviator continuing their push here early in the second after finishing the first in fine fashion, doing everything but finding the back of the net at the end of that first period. Now it'll be Berliner. Got Finkelstein, Koslewski, Fauci, Tanoff out there with him. Puck's dropped, won by Aviator up to the blue line in the high slot. Shot flicked in, stopped by Berliner with the chest. Now Berliner emerges from his own zone with the puck. He's crossed the blue line. He's got Koslewski streaking down the slot, looking for him, tries to pass, hits a skate instead. Puck rolls all the way to the near corner. Berliner tries to get it back there. He's got Finkelstein with him. And the puck comes up. Tanoff pinches in, but the Aviators will emerge with it. They've got a 2-on-1, maybe even a 3-on-1 developing. Not Tanoff, that's Fauci who dives and is able to stick that wide, and Bricker does the rest. Able to emerge there, the Raiders, without a goal on the board for Aviator somehow, some way. Aviator now warming to the task as they enter the neutral zone, but can't get any farther. Berliner leaves it for Fauci. Fauci now thinks about going point to point with Tanoff, instead fires it back up toward Berliner, and it's sticked out of play into the home bench with 12:26 left to go here in the second. Should be a face-off coming just in front of the Aviator bench as the Raiders will get some new skaters out there. It's Gossler, Aiden, Samosi, Marchuka, and Meyerowicz. Short bench now for the Raiders with the injuries. They'll look to rotate lines quickly as Samosi breaks into the offensive zone. Long stick of Samosi guides that puck just off the side of the cage. He gets it back into the near corner, looking for a teammate in the slot. Tries to pull the trigger there on a pass. Aviator in the way, and now they break the other way, does Aviator. It's a 3-on-2 into the near circle. Can't dance around Aiden, though, as he works the puck into the near corner. Now up to the near point comes Aviator. Marchuka tries to chip it past his man, hits a body. He'll circle back into the defensive zone for support. Puck sits there as it's then racked around the boards off the dasher. Aiden will pick up behind his own net. He's on the forehand, needs to settle the puck. He does. And now he looks for a teammate on the backhand. He finds Marchuka in the neutral zone. Aviator swipes it away from him, and now Samosi looks at his man to try and slap it farther. Aviator instead with speed through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. Shot comes in. It's gloved there by Bricker, and he'll hold on to it so the Raiders can contemplate a change and get some men out of the box who had been in there for their 2 and 10. Petrosinelli out of the box, back to the bench, and with 11:33 left to go here in the second, the Raiders get a much-needed personnel shot in the arm. It'll be Berliner at the near defensive dot to Bricker's right. He's got Fauci, Kalemba, Vigliotti, and Tanoff out there with him. Fauci racks that around the boards. Vigliotti tries to track it down. Aviator come away with it. They dump that puck in deeper, but only so far as Berliner. Berliner tries to exit the zone, finds an Aviator stick, and his back check takes the puck off his man. Aviator just dumps in. Puck sits at the near point. Doesn't come any farther until it finally does. As it's in the neutral zone, the Raiders look to take over and jam it farther. Puck now on Vigliotti's stick. He takes a heavy hit there to make a play, and it goes all the way, does the puck behind the Aviator net. Kalemba all over his man right there at the end line. Aviator will emerge again with it at the far half wall. Pass comes up to Fauci, who just jams it right back the other way. Puck sits at the blue line, must have crossed just momentarily as the Raiders forwards were still clearing the zone. So at 10:51 left to go here in the second. It's an offside call on the Raiders, and they'll get a personnel change out there. Well, folks, a reminder, you're watching this on Midnight Sports. Go ahead and hit that like, follow, or subscribe button. We would appreciate it. It's Marchuka now at center ice, waiting here momentarily. And the puck's dropped. Aviators try and take that forward. They instead work it back to their blue line, gain center ice, and then dump in. Aiden will turn now, pick up the puck. Puck behind his own net on the forehand, tries to work that puck up and out of the zone. He does. Schlefsky able to lift the stick of his man and have that puck exit the zone entirely. Marchuka all over his man as Aviator comes back the other way. They chip it past one Raider, and now they pour into the offensive zone. They're looking for that slot pass, but Finkelstein smartly gets his stick in the way. Aviator with the puck still at the end boards. Puck sits there behind the cage. Aviator trying to work that puck out front. Instead, comes to a Raider. It's Marchuka who slends it farther, not out of the zone just yet. Ooh, knuckling shot comes in off Bricker's shoulder into his glove. Nice catch by him with 10:11 left to go here in the second period. Now it's going to be a defensive zone draw upcoming for the Raiders. It'll be Koslewski, Marchuka, Aiden, Finkelstein, and Gosler out there as the five skaters. Rolling puck comes to an Aviator stick first, stays in the zone. Raiders desperate to get this puck out of the zone after a lot of zone time lately by the Aviators. They're in the high slot on the backhand. They'll go point to point there and then work the puck in deeper as the shooting lane cut off by Finkelstein. Aviator takes over in the near corner. Puck sits there momentarily, worked farther to the end boards. Bouncing puck comes in, goes over Bricker's head, through the crease, and now Aviator sends a shot high and wide of the cage. It's Finkelstein on the puck. He's got the puck, tries to slap it farther for Marchuka. It's out of the zone, but Aviator will pour right back in as that puck comes into the zone, and we get a whistle for offside on Aviator. So 9:36 left to go here in the second period. Offside call on Aviator. And a face-off coming just outside their offensive zone. It'll be Berliner, Samosi, Meyerowicz, Fauci, and Tanoff as the five Raider skaters. Puck's won forward by Berliner, and now Meyerowicz fires forward to try and take it off his man. Samosi doing the same on the other side of the ice. Puck rolls on Aviator and it's chipped just farther. They're in on Bricker now, all alone. They try and go around. Bricker shuts it down with the right leg pad as the puck comes to the half wall and nearly out of the zone, but slapped farther by Aviator. Deflection doesn't work out as it comes in on Bricker, and the Raiders try and fire that up and out of the zone. Instead, Aviator able to keep the zone at least momentarily. Puck rolls at the blue line and does eventually come to Tanoff. Tanoff has the puck. He breaks into the offensive zone. He's on the forehand, shot pushed wide on a deflection. With just under 9 minutes left to go here in the second period, Aviator tries to work that out of the zone. It's Aviator now at the near half wall. They only work it so far as Meyerowicz after Tanoff comes up the play. Meyerowicz tries to find Berliner. Berliner tries to feather a shot in, hits a body, and instead the puck comes all the way up to the blue line. Fauci able to keep the zone. Fauci looking for Meyerowicz there. Puck sits at the far half wall, and then Berliner takes over. Can't quite corral it to get the shot off. Aviator with the puck now behind their own net. They'll work it up weak side. Fauci's able to keep the zone on the backhand. Bouncing puck misses everyone. And Aviator now curls with the puck out of the zone. With some speed through the neutral zone comes Aviator. It's a 2-on-2. Trying to get on the forehand. Pushed wide there by Tanoff. Throw a shot off the side of the cage. Comes right back to the near corner. And it'll be Marchuka with some speed taking over the puck. It's Marchuka into the neutral zone. Into the offensive zone comes Marchuka. Shot comes in. Rolling puck saved. Just over 8 minutes left to go as Aviator will pick the puck right back up. Raiders able to make a defensive pairing change behind the play. Puck comes to Aiden, who sticks it farther on the backhand. Marchuka will pick it up there. He's got two men streaking toward the net. It's Vigliotti there. Oh, Marchuka goes up and over, and that's a Raiders goal. Oh, Marchuka used the streaking Bigliotti as a decoy, went up and over the Aviator goaltender shoulder, and he found pay dirt with 7:51 left to go here in the second period. You can see it here on the replay as Marchuka had some options, and he was able to pick that top corner for the Raiders. Well, we're halfway through the game here, so we'll get a Raiders goalie change as Bricker exits, and Speaker is now on. It's Gossler who works that puck up into the offensive zone. Marchuka all over his man. Some pep in his step now after picking that top corner. The Raiders send it out front. Shot comes in. Saved nicely there by the Aviator goaltender. So with 7:36 left to go here in the second period, it's an offensive zone draw for the Raiders. Yeah, it'll be Marchuka, Kalemba, Vigliotti, Gossler, and Aiden out there as the 5 skaters. Marchuka wins that face-off for it, tries to corral it in time. Aviators instead are able to chip that puck up to the blue line. Comes to Gossler, sends a shot in. Oh, he goes bar down. That looked good, but it's called no goal. Somehow called no goal there after that puck was in, and now we get some after-action scrumming by players from both sides. Boy, that puck looked like it crossed the line. We'll have to see. There's a replay there. Well, folks, as you know, fortunately, in 14U, Brooklyn and Queens hockey, they do not send it to Toronto to check the goal cam to see if the puck crossed the line. It certainly looked like a goal from here, but of course, the men in stripes had a better angle on it, and they called it no goal, so we'll play on here with 7:24 left to go in the second period. Apparently no penalties forthcoming on the action that happened after the whistle. So it's an offensive zone draw. Shots 12-11 in the Raiders' favor right now as Aviator looks to emerge with the puck from behind their own net. Feathered pass sees them get the puck out of the defensive zone, and now they're in the neutral zone with speed. Aviator all the way in the offensive zone, sticked aside by Tanoff at the last second. Aviator will pick up again in the near corner. Aviator buzzing now, and they send a pass in to the slot there. Can't find the trigger to put it on net. It's at the far point, and they work that puck in deeper. Now the shot comes in. It's gloved there by Speaker as he takes a whack to the leg pad, but he covers it up with 5:54 left to go here in the second period. Well, it's a defensive zone draw now coming for the Raiders. It'll be Koslewski, Gossler, Marchuka, Finkelstein, and Aiden out there as the defenders. 6:53 left now to go in the second period. Apologies if I misspoke there. It's Gossler on the puck. Gossler trying to work that puck up and out of the zone. Finkelstein for support. He's on the forehand, is Finkelstein, trying to work that puck out of the zone. Instead, it comes to an Aviator stick. Rolling puck comes to the high slot. Aviator able to keep the zone. They work that puck in deeper. Aiden on the puck now. Uses the forehand and try and jam it past a man, and now it's Koslewski doing the same. He does work that up to Marchuka. Marchuka able to get that puck out of the zone. Looking weak side for Finkelstein. Instead, it finds an Aviator stick now, and they dump it right back in once they gain the line. Gossler will turn and go to his right to work that up toward Koslewski. Just a bit too far for him as Aviator able to leave that in the zone. Aviator all the way in on Speaker. Try and go around Speaker, but he's able to be aggressive there. Came outside the blue paint and dragged his leg to cut out the threat. It's Marchuka right back the other way. Shot comes in. It's chested down into the pads by the Aviator goaltender. And we'll get a stoppage in play here with 6:01 left to go in the second period. Raiders able to get some new skaters out there now after that shot was saved by Aviator. And it's Tanoff. He's got Fauci out there as his defensive pair. Berliner, Meyerowicz, and Samosi as the 3 forwards. Puck sits at the near dot momentarily until Aviator's able to send that up into the high slot. It's a 2-on-2 developing for Aviator with some speed. He'll try and go around and in on Speaker. He's able to do enough there to kick that aside, and Aviator will have to pick up possession again. They do here at the near point. Shot deflected by Meyerowitz, who loses his stick, but he keeps that puck from getting to the net. Now the puck in the neutral zone. Aviator comes right back the other way. They're at the offensive blue line. Aviator in, curling to the slot, trying to send something in. Berliner with the stick lift, keeps the initial shot from coming in, and now it's Samosi with the puck. He chips it farther, takes a hit there, stays on his feet, does Samosi, all the way into the offensive zone. Puck now behind the Aviator net. Aviators look to fire that up and out of the zone. Tanoff able to keep the point momentarily, and then a rolling puck comes over toward Fauci, who's going to get to this puck first and chip it farther. Oh, he takes a heavy hit there, right into the dasher in front of the Aviator bench, but he makes the play. Puck now rolls to Tanoff in the defensive zone. Diagonally pumps that up and out of the zone. We do get an arm raise now for icing, and all the players out there could use a breather with 5:01 left to go here in the second period. Shots now 14-13 in Aviators' favor, and it'll be a defensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders to Speaker's right. It'll be Aiden and Gossler as the defensive pair. Vigliotti, Marchuka, and Kalemba as the three forwards. Marchuka over the dot, wins that toward the slot. Gossler shepherds that up toward Vigliotti, hits the body, and Vigliotti turns and sends that puck into the neutral zone. Aviator now tries to take over at the blue line. Rolling puck comes to Aiden. Works it over toward Vigliotti. Aviator there first with the stick lift. They pour into the offensive zone. Does Aviator. They're in the slot all alone. Try and split the defenders. Speaker shuts it down at first. Loose puck there, then tucked home after it went all the way over to the far circle. And the Aviators now on the board with 4:40 left to go here in the second period. It's Raiders 2, Aviators 1. You can see here the defenders split, shot comes in, puck kicked out, but the ensuing rebound tucked home from the far circle. The Aviators cut this lead in half. Aviators win the ensuing faceoff back to the blue line. Try and work that puck up into the offensive zone. They do. Now a shot comes in, hits a body. It was Aiden who was able to deflect that wide of the cage. Aviators at the far point. Try and work that puck in deeper. Sits at the blue line again. And now Aviators with some room in the slot. Goes all the way through. Can't connect on the one-timer. And Vigliotti works that puck up toward Marchuka and then takes it over again. He gains the line, does Vigliotti. Pours in the offensive zone. Trying to curl toward the slot. Taken out of the play. No arm raised there. And Aviator will come right back the other way. Only so far as Gossler. Gossler on the puck. Works it out of the zone. Marchuka chips it farther. And Kalemba there to try and do the same right in front of his bench. Aviator will take over at their own blue line. Aviator now with speed through the neutral zone. Cross all the way into the offensive zone. Self-pass off the end boards. Doesn't connect for them. And they'll have to pick it up over at the far half wall. Puck into the far corner now for Aviator as it sits there. And Marchuka will take over after Finkelstein was able to find him. Marchuka tries to corral that puck. He does. Skates it out of his zone. He's got Kalemba through the middle of the ice. Dumps it and long shot comes in. It's just gloved down there by the Aviator goaltender, using the stick and glove with 3:33 left to go here in the second period. It'll be an offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. Now it'll be Tanoff, Fauci, Finkelstein, Kishlevsky, and Berliner out there. Berliner on the backhand, wins that up to Tanoff. Tanoff has that puck. It's deflected on the shot end, comes into the slot. Berliner curls with it. No-look shot. Saved nicely there by the Aviator netminder. And Berliner will take it over again in the far corner. Puck now sits there as Kishlevsky tries to work that farther to turn with it. Stick gets in the way. Kishlevsky working over his man. Aviator to emerge with it using the boards. And now Tanoff will go to try and track down this puck. He's got a man on. He'll skate all the way around his net. Oh, he takes a heavy hit there into the end boards. Eliminated from the play. Pops right back up. And Aviator tries to take over, but Fauci there chips that puck up to the the far point and out of the zone. And Aviator will have to take over in their own end. Kishlevsky in on the forecheck, looking to separate the puck from his man. Able to do so on a long poke check. He takes over possession, works that puck over to the weak side. It's Fauci now in the high slot, sending that puck deeper into the zone. He's taken several heavy hits out there. He pops up each time, though. And Aviator desperate to get this puck out of their zone. Puck sits at the far point. Kishlevsky now on the puck. Works down in farther for Marchuka. It's Marchuka trying to tuck that around. There's a pass in front. Misses all sticks. And Tanoff now sends a long shot in. Hits a body on the far side. It's Marchuka now trying to pick up the puck. He does. puck still won't sit down. He's in the slot. Hits the goalie with that shot. 2:12 left to go here in the second as Aviator looks to break out of the play. They chip it all the way into the offensive zone. Aviator looking for some support there as Tanoff guides his man all the way into the near corner, and then his man loses the wheels. Pass comes out, shot comes in. Oh, it's a one-timer right from the slot. Aviator scores. Boy, they were looking to set that play up in the low slot, and they hit pay dirt there. 1:57 left to go in this one as the pass comes out from the corner. Finds an Aviator stick immediately, and it's just threaded home right there. We've got a tie hockey game late in the second period. Well, it's Marchuka, Berliner. Looks like Meyerowicz out there as well as Aviator wins that faceoff forward in the neutral zone. Puck sits in the neutral zone momentarily. Bodies flying everywhere as the Raiders try and work that puck into the offensive zone. Instead, it comes back into their zone. Gosser now looking for a home run pass for Meyerowicz. He connects into the offensive zone. Meyerowicz works that puck in deeper and gets the puck back there as it's feathered in on the shot on goal, but it's saved nicely by the Aviator netminder. Aviator now with the puck behind their own net, trying to find some ice as they curl around into the slot, and then the diagonal pass hits. Icing inexplicably waived on that as Aviator had not gained the line. And they'll take over again. Does Aviator in the offensive zone. Aviator on the puck. Puck sits at the near dot as it comes all the way up to the near point. Slapper comes in, goes wide of the cage, and Aviator will take over at the far half wall. Aviator on the puck, only so far as Aiden. And it comes up to Meyerowicz, who tries to chip it farther. Shot comes in from the blue line, hits a body, doesn't reach the goal. Aviator tries to send that puck in deeper. It's Marchuka on the puck, leaves it for Aiden there. Aiden on the forehand's able to get that puck up and out of the zone. 45 seconds left to go here in the second period as the puck at center ice comes into the offensive zone for Aviator. They try and dangle and go in on Speaker. Speaker able to cut out the threat there. The old armpit save with 34.4 seconds left to go here in the second period. Well, it's going to be Samosi, Gosler, Aiden, Bigliotti, and Koslewski out there as the five skaters for the Raiders. It's Samosi at the near dot, trying to win that toward the slot. Puck comes up to the near point. Shot comes in. It's deflected just wide, and Aviator will take over and send it up into the slot there. They shoot. Speaker able to blocker that up and over the net. And now the Raiders just trying to get out of this period with 20 seconds left in a tie game. They're able to break out of their zone, are the Raiders. It's Samosi now on the puck, gaining the offensive zone. He's hooked there, no call coming. And the Raiders try and send that puck in on net. 8 seconds left to go now as Aviator curls behind their own net, and they'll just try and see this period out safely in their own zone. 1 second and now 0. So after 2, it's going to be the New York City Raiders 2. The Aviator Hockey Club 2. Stick around right after this. We'll put 15 minutes on the board and do it all over again one last time after these messages from our sponsors.
Hockey fans, have you or a loved one been injured by purchasing an automobile from Rowdy Howdy's Automobiles? You may be entitled to compensation. Past client complaints include ignition trouble, a lack of wheels, no windows, among a variety of other complaints about Rowdy Howdy Automobiles. If you or a loved one were injured by Rowdy Howdy Automobiles, give us a call today. Don't actually call. This is a fake ad. We are not attorneys.
Well, just an update here from the Raiders bench. As we understand, both players that are injured are now doubtful to return in this game. They've gone from questionable to doubtful. And again, everyone here at Midnight Sports wishes them well. And the Aviators, though, on the faceoff break, right in on Speaker. He's able to stop that shot just 7 seconds into this third period, and the Raiders will clear the zone. They'll go all the way back into the defensive zone for Aviator as they look to break out behind their own net. Aviator sends that all the way down. Should be an icing here. And yes, we do get an icing called with 14:34 left to go. Thank God for small miracles here in the final frame. It's going to be an offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. It's Marchuka at the near dot. He's got Samosi and Meyerwich with him. Gossler and Aiden out there as well. Aviator wins that faceoff. They'll break out of their zone, just skating it out and then passing it weak side. Aviator into the offensive zone. Shot comes in. Speaker's able to glove that down. Rebound comes, goes wide of the cage. Raiders living dangerously here. This puck comes up to the near point. It's shot in deeper by Aviator at the near half wall, trying to curl around their men. Instead, Aiden's able to wipe his man out of the play as the puck comes to the side of the cage and now at the end boards and in the far corner. Aviator has the puck there, trying to work into the slot. Raiders going for some hits here as Aviator just skates around at the near circle. Shot goes wide of the cage. It's not going to leave the zone, though, as Aviator dumps right back in. 3:51 left to go here in the third period. Aviator keeping the puck in the offensive zone. Aiden trying to chip it past his man. Aviator still keeping it in the zone at the end boards. They throw it in front. Puck sits in the blue paint there, sticked aside by Speaker. Now carefully taken out of the zone by Samosi. Takes a heavy hit there. And it looks like should be an offside call, perhaps. Well, Samosi asking the referee why that wasn't a late hit after he had released the puck about 2 seconds earlier. The referee just shakes his head. And so we'll play on 5-on-5 hockey here. Shots 23-17 in Aviators' favor. It'll be Berliner at the dot, just outside the defensive zone. Berliner wins that faceoff over toward Gossler. Gossler works it up to Finkelstein. Finkelstein on the puck at center ice now. Finds a streaking Kashleski. Kashleski dumps that puck in deeper. It sits in the near corner now. He works his man over to try and keep the offensive zone. Turns with the puck momentarily. Aviator desperate to get this out of the zone. Now working hard to do so, but Kashleski in the way once again. Kashleski racks that puck off the Zamboni doors. Aviator will take over after the strange carom off the side of the net. Aviator breaks out weak side from their zone. Into the neutral zone now comes Aviator across the blue line. Puck comes up to Aiden, who works that puck across the defensive blue line, and Aviator will have to set up again. Aviator tries to work that puck farther. Instead, it comes to Berliner right in front of his bench. He's able to just calm the puck down momentarily, but Aviator does eventually take it off him and break into the offensive zone. It's Aviator in the slot, rolling puck. Gossler does his best there to get that puck out of the way, and then uses his own glove hand to block the shot that was cruising toward the top of the Raiders' net. Gossler in. Exacts a little bit of a pound of flesh of his own on his shot off the Aviator goaltender. Shot comes in now in the blue paint. Raiders can't get a stick on it before Aviator does, and now it's Aviator right back the other way. Across the offensive blue line comes Aviator. Into the slot, shot comes in, and they beat Speaker right under the glove there. And it's now Aviator 3, Raiders 2. 12-12 left to go here in the third period. A laser shot from the far circle. An Aviator able to pot that. Looked to be right under the glove of Speaker. And so the ensuing faceoff is going to be Marchuka, Vigliotti, Kalemba, Tanoff, and Fauci. It's going to be Vigliotti who takes over the puck at center ice, and then Aviator takes the puck and comes the other way. Aviator into the offensive zone. They leave the puck there at the near half wall, and Vigliotti gets in the way. And now Aviator takes over again at the near circle. Aviator in all alone. Shot comes up on Speaker. He's able to make the initial save. Ensuing shot comes in, and it hits a body. And that's another goal for Aviator. So with 11:50 left to go here in the third period, it's Aviator 4, Raiders 2. And the Raiders will look to push back here in the final frame. Down 2 goals now. It'll be Berliner at center ice. He's got Samosi, Meyerowicz, Aiden, and Gosler out there with him. Aviator tries to win the puck forward. They eventually do break into the offensive zone and work that puck deep. It's Aiden now on the puck. Behind his own net, puck sits there, and then he uses the dasher to send that up and around. Not just out yet, though. It's Samosi now who's able to shepherd that puck farther into the neutral zone. He gains the offensive zone, does Samosi with speed on the backhand, leaves it there for Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz tries to go top left corner, just misses the net. And the Raiders try and fire something in, and they hit a body in front. It comes all the way to the far point. Aiden backhands that farther. Puck comes up to Berliner on the forehand. Berliner sends one in, and it's gloved there by the Aviator netminder. So with 11:15 left to go here in the third period, the Raiders need a goal, and they need a goal in a hurry to cut this lead in half. Well, ensuing faceoff will be Marchuka, Kishlevsky, Finkelstein, Fauci, and Tanoff. Rolling puck comes into the slot. Kishlevsky guides that farther over the weak side of the ice. It's now at the near half wall as Aviator chips it up. Not out of the zone just yet. Kishlevsky working hard now at the near blue line, trying to work that puck in deeper. Fauci now in for support as well. Marchuka there too, takes a heavy hit as the players fall over each other, and the puck does come to the Raiders eventually in the neutral zone. It's Tanoff now on the puck. Tanoff into the offensive zone, takes a heavy hit, sends a shot just wide. Kishlevsky on the forecheck, trying to work his man over just a bit. Puck comes up toward Marchuka, and now into the slot. Finkelstein stops it there, rolls to Kishlevsky. Can't quite handle it as Aviator tries to break out of the zone. Finkelstein now trying to work that puck deeper. He does. He finds Marchuka momentarily. Aviator there as well, though, as the puck sits at the near corner and now toward the end boards. Got 3 Raiders in on the puck. As it sits at the end boards, Raiders emerge with it through Finkelstein, trying to jam it around in front. Finds an Aviator stick instead after a deflection, though. Marchuka on the back check, able to take the puck off his man, and he's taken out of the play again, and the neutral zone. Puck comes over to Aviator, and they just dump that puck in. Puck hits the back of the net there as Fauci goes to collect the puck and work it around to the far half wall and chip it on up past the red line. Aviator will take over. They'll go point to point all the way on the weak side of the neutral zone. Puck comes into the offensive zone. Shot comes in. Speaker's able to chest that aside and then stick it. Leave it for a teammate. Aviator there first. Aviator on the puck. They've got it at the near half wall, does Aviator. Aviator still on the puck. They send that all the way across the ice. And the shot takes a deflection before it gets to the cage. Aviator again with possession in the offensive zone. They're in the near corner looking for a teammate's stick. Instead, it's jammed up toward the blue line, but kept in the zone by Aviator. They're swirling now into the low slot. They're at the far circle. Puck comes there, and they are able to shoot and score. Boy, they sent that puck weak side of the cage. And now it's Aviator 5, Raiders 2, with 9:20 left to go in the third period. Well, it's going to be Berliner, Bigliotti, looks like Kalemba, Gosler, and Aiden out there as the 5 skaters for the Raiders. It's Aiden who has the puck at neutral ice. He dumps that in. Aviators will take over there. Aviators go point to point, and they send that puck weak side so far as Aiden. Aiden on the puck, jams it farther for Kalemba. Rolls off his stick momentarily, takes a heavy hit to work it down toward Berliner. And Aviators will take over in their own zone. The Aviators behind their net and curling with it. Harassed there by Berliner. Berliner looks for Bigliotti at front. Bigliotti has it. Deflected shot goes just wide with 8:48 left to go here in the third period. Puck comes up to Aiden. Works that puck in deeper toward Kalemba, and then it's slapped all the way down for Aviator. Should be an icing call here. It is. 8:39 left to go in the third period. It's Aviator 5, Raiders 2. It's an offensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders. It'll be Samosi, Marchuka, Meyerowicz, Fauci, and Tanoff out there as the 5 skaters for the Raiders. Samosi takes over the puck in the high slot on the backhand, rolls off his stick. Aviators will come away with it. They emerge. It's a 3-on-2 developing. Marchuka now back to make it a 3-on-3. Tanoff pushes his man wide. Puck sits at the far half wall. Marchuka chips that puck out of the zone. It's the Aviators with the puck at the red line now. looking to work that puck in deep. They do, nearly hitting the linesman, but instead the Raiders try and work this puck out of the zone. Puck comes over toward Fauci. He's able to feather that puck up to the blue line. Shot deflected out of the zone by Marchuka there. Samosi all over his man. His man turns, works the puck into the offensive zone, curls into the slot, and the shot comes in. Speaker's able to shut that down, and he freezes the puck there with 7:57 left to go here in the third period. Shots 29-20 in Aviators' favor. Well, ensuing faceoff's going to be Berliner here at the near dot. He's got Finkelstein. Looks to be Koslewski, Aiden, and Gosser out there with him. Shot comes in. Speaker does enough to turn that aside. And then an ensuing shot hits the side of the cage, and Speaker's able to freeze it there against the iron. So with 7:49 left to go here in the third period, we'll do it all over again here at the near dot. Gosser, who comes away with the puck after that faceoff, tries to backhand it up and out of the zone. Koslewski over at the far half wall for support. Puck rolls to Berliner in the far corner, and now it's Gosser working that up toward Koslewski, just a little bit out of his reach. Aviator tries to dump it back in. Gosser's had enough. He's able to slap that diagonally out of the zone, and Aviator will take over again at center ice and try and work that puck deeper. Instead, rolls all the way into the Aviators' defensive zone, and they'll go behind their own net and wait there to set up a play. Berliner flushes his man out. Aviator emerges with the puck at the far half wall. All the way out of the zone comes Aviator into the neutral zone with some speed now. Aviator trying to send a shot in on goal, guided wide by Aiden. And now they'll wait at the top of their zone. Will Aviator, they'll go point to point there, looking to send a shot in at the near circle. It's Finkelstein able to harass the puck off his man over to Berliner. Berliner on the puck, emerges from the defensive zone, gains the line and dumps in, now gives chase. Aviator on the puck there at the far half wall. They're able to escape the Berliner forecheck and come all the way into the offensive zone. They're there, drop pass, sees a shot in, that's deflected, and then the ensuing shot can't find the back of the net. Aviator still curling with the puck. Aiden down there, they're in all alone on Speaker. He makes the initial save, puck rolls to the side of the net, and then harmlessly to the end wall. Speaker shut down the threat there as the Aviator man couldn't lift the puck over his leg pads, and it'll be Vigliotti streaking into the offensive zone. Loses possession as Aviator had two men on him, and Aviator chips the puck the other way. Aviator now into the offensive zone, trying to pass it into the slot. Cut out by Tanoff very nicely there as the puck comes up to the far point, not out of the zone. Aviator looking to get it out of the zone. Instead, Kalemba has the puck. He's got Marchuka going through on the right wing. He sends the pass over to him, sends a tight angle shot off the goaltender, and Fauci now picks up the puck at the near half wall. Raiders starting to get some buzz here in the offensive zone, but instead the puck leaves that offensive zone, and Aviator in all alone on Speaker. He shuts down the initial shot, and then a two-poster doesn't go in. Ensuing shot is saved by a diving Speaker. Wow. Well, if you had a goalie bingo card, you've almost certainly got bingo now. 5:47 left to go here in the third period. After Speaker shut down the breakaway, the ensuing rebound shot hit both posts, and then Speaker dove across the blue paint to make the save. So it'll be Berliner at the near dot. Face-off won there by Aviator, and they dump it on deep. And Gosser will turn to pick up the puck. Gosser works it up to the near half wall, not out just yet. Samosi all over his man, forces him to make an early pass. Aviator curling with it into the slot, then it's sticked farther by an alert Meyerowicz. Aviator will have to take over at their own blue line. Aviator on the puck, they'll go point to point there in their own zone. Puck comes up into the neutral zone for Aviator as they break into the offensive zone. Looking to send a shot in. Ooh, they just missed there on a snap shot in the slot. Gosser now tries to pick up the puck and work it on farther. Gosser in the far corner on the backhand. He gets rubbed out of the play. It's tapped over toward by Meyerowicz. And now, oh, the back door shut down there by a glove of Speaker as well as the post. And Aviator will have to curl with the puck. Well, it'll be Meyerowicz emerging with the puck now in the neutral zone, into the offensive zone. Tries to work the puck past his man. His man waits on the puck, and then Aviator sends that out of the zone so far as Tanoff. Tanoff dumps it right back in, but not all the Raiders forwards had been able to clear just yet, as Tanoff had a man bearing down on him. So with 4:41 left to go here in the third period, it's Aviator 5, Raiders 2, offensive zone Now it looks like the drop's going to come just outside the offensive zone, of course, for that offside center ice. We'll call it center ice. Face-off coming up here. It's going to be Koshlewski, Marchuka, Finkelstein, Tanoff, and Fauci. Koshlewski dumps his man, picks up the puck, sends that over to the weak side. Icing again waved, and at least it's inexplicable on both sides at this point. Aviators look to emerge with the puck at the far half wall. Aviators on the puck there. They work it up into the offensive zone. Rolling puck's going to come in on Speaker, and he gloves it there. Oh, and boy, he came right in on Speaker. Did the Aviator player, spraying him. Speaker stays down momentarily. And now he's up, but he's going to need to clear the eyeballs as an Aviator player going to be sent to the box there for unsportsmanlike conduct after spraying the Raiders netminder with ice in the blue paint. Well, looks like the contact stayed in place for Speaker. He's ready to roll here as he gets his glove and blocker back on. So it should be an offensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders with 4:19 left to go in this one. Shots 36-21 in Aviators' favor right now. Marchuka wins that faceoff as the puck sits at the dot. Aviator fires to it first, and the Raiders will dump in. Aviator will take over possession again behind their own net. Marchuka on his man as the puck comes all the way up to Gosser. Gosser tries to send that weak side. Instead, Aviator dumps that into the offensive zone just momentarily, and Berliner then finds Samosi. Samosi on the puck, goes around his man as the puck comes into the offensive zone just a bit too soon, as Samosi was back-checked, couldn't pull the trigger on the pass, and the Raiders had creeped into the offensive zone just a bit offside. So it'll be Samosi, Berliner, Meyerowicz, Gosler, and Marchuka again. Raiders going 4 forwards as they desperately need a goal here with just under 4 minutes left to play. Marchuka finds Samosi. It's cut out, though, by Aviator. It comes right back the other way. It's a 3-on-2 as the Raiders have to cheat a little bit here on the power play, try and keep the puck in the offensive zone. It's Aviator in. Oh, that shot comes off the leg pad and goes wide of the cage as Meyerowicz now tries to push his man out. Instead, the Aviators come over with the puck in the high slot. They're in all alone, trying a backhander. It's gloved there by Speaker, who has it against the pads. He has to cover up as the Aviators are in on him. And so, with 3:30 left to go here in the final frame, still 1 minute and 11 seconds left to go on the power play for the Raiders. It's a defensive zone draw for them. And we'll play on here with 5 Raiders skaters. It's Berliner at the near dot. As the players wait momentarily here. Unclear what the stoppage is. Oh, looks like an Aviator player just snapping the helmet back together. And we're ready to roll here. Berliner wins that on the backhand toward Marchuka. Marchuka racks that around over to Meyerowicz. He takes a heavy hit there. Still no call coming, though, as Samosi now tries to take the puck farther. Samosi in his own zone on the puck, goes behind his own net, and now he picks up the puck there. Does Samosi off the back of his own cage, works it over toward Berliner. Berliner on the puck at center ice. Berliner now crosses into the offensive zone. Berliner on the forehand, lets his forward set up, sends that all the way to the weak side. Marchuka pinches in, works that puck in deeper. He's wiped out of the play there as Samosi leans on his man at the end boards. Samosi now still leaning on his man, able to take the puck over just momentarily. Now Aviator will emerge with it only so far as Berliner. Berliner curls with it, looking for Samosi, hits a stick, and now Samosi takes that puck deeper into the offensive zone. It's Samosi on the puck in the near corner. Puck comes up to Gosser. Gosser looks to go point to point. He fires it over toward Marchuka. Marchuka loads up, sends a fluttering puck in. It's loose in front, and Aviator able to clear that out of the blue paint with 2:30 left to go here in the third period. Just 9 seconds left to go on the man advantage as the puck comes to the side of the cage. It's still loose. It's Meyerowicz, sends it up to Gosser. Gosser now at the puck. He sends a shot at looking for a deflection, goes just wide of the cage. Marchuka now on the puck at the far circle. Marchuka still there, sends a one-timer in. It's touched farther by Samosi, and the Raiders score. Well, it wasn't quite a power play goal, but it came from the end of the power play as Samosi tucked in a loose puck right in that blue paint, And now it's Aviator 6, Raiders 3 with 2:09 left to go in this one. Now the scoreboard says 6. Not sure when that 6th goal came in. We'll have to check the tape. Might only be 5. Yep, now it's been fixed to 5 goals. Very good. Good catch from our stalwart on the camera there. And it's Aviator 5, Raiders 3. And it looks like a timeout called by the benches here with 2:09 left to go in the third period. Now some last second instruction from the bench here. As the Raiders look to get set for just the last 129 seconds of this one. Now shots 37-22 in Aviators' favor here. As Marchuka, Berliner, Finkelstein, Tanoff, and Gosser come out onto the ice. Gosser works that puck farther at his own blue line all the way into the offensive zone, but without possession. Speaker will clear the net as they'll get a 6th skater, the Raiders will, out on the ice. Aviator not yet flushed out from behind their own net. They'll reverse when they are. The net is empty for Aviators. They break into the neutral zone and get all the way to the offensive blue line, send that puck in deep. Gosser will turn to try and pick up the puck. He's got an Aviator all over him, beats him to the puck at the near half wall now. 1:40 left to go in this game as Aviator keeps the puck in the offensive zone with that empty net. Gosser working over 2 men as the puck sits in the near corner. Gosser still on his man. Aviator able to dance around him up to the point, and that puck leaves the zone entirely. It's Meyerowicz, who is cheating in the neutral zone on purpose, goes into the offensive zone, has the puck come off his stick. Now Finkelstein picks it up on the forehand. He sends that shot just wide of the cage. His blocker to side anyway as Aviator tries to clear the puck out of the zone. Aviator able to bat that puck out of the air, and Gosser able to keep that puck right at the blue line, but it crosses just slightly. So with 1:10 left to go here in the third period, it's an offside on the Raiders, and it'll be a drop just outside their offensive zone. Looks like they'll keep 6 skaters out there to try and win this faceoff. So their net's still empty, and Aviator tries to work that puck forward in the neutral zone. Instead, the Raiders will dump in. Raiders on the puck now as Aviator fires that down wide of the cage. Should be an icing with 59 seconds left to go here. We'll do it all over again from the offensive zone. Offensive zone draw. It'll be Marchuka at the dot. He's got Berliner out there with him. Tanoff, Gosler, Meyerowicz, and Finkelstein. Aviator wins that faceoff back to the end boards, and they try and float it out of the zone. They hit a body, but they do take over in the near corner. Pinching Tanoff. Sees that puck come off his stick, and now Gosser rubs his man out of the play. Still, though, Aviator there, and they'll be able to thread that in with 44 seconds left to go. That puck hits the empty net. And so it's Aviator 6, Raiders 3. And it's all over but the crying here at Floyd Bennett Field in the final frame. So it'll be Marchuka, Samosi, Shlevsky, Aiden, and Fauci out there as the 5 skaters. Puck sits at center ice. Aviator looks to break in. Instead, Shlevsky's able to guide that up to Marchuka. Marchuka on the puck now, on the forehand. Sends that up high, and it's gloved there by the Aviator netminder with 33.5 seconds left to go in the third period. And it'll be an offensive zone draw here for the Raiders as they play out the string in this game. But don't forget to stick around after this one. When these 30 seconds are gone, we'll have some game highlights for you at the end of this one, such as they are. And hopefully next weekend we'll have another game to bring you right here on Midnight Sports, a 2:30 game scheduled. Opponent yet to be determined. Make sure to tune into our Instagram page. That's at midnight with a K _sports. Where we'll have all the updates for you. You can always subscribe to the YouTube page to get notifications and know when we put up a link for a new game that there should be a game attached to that link. Makes sense, doesn't it? In any event, it's the Raiders in the offensive zone here at the end wall. And Aviator looks to emerge with it. Puck flips off all sticks all the way to the end boards, and now it's behind the cage. Marchuka fires in, forces man to make a pass, but that'll do it. There goes the buzzer. It's gone final here at Floyd Bennett Field, the Aviator Sports and Events Center. It's the Aviators 6, New York City Raiders 3. Thanks so much for tuning in. And like we said, stick around for game highlights right after this.